of Dubai, and for me it's a huge honor to have a John Thorp, the CEO of the Intel Bioenergetics, the man that changed the way I saw health and the way that you can treat yourself, be free of pain and performance. It's interesting, because I'm gonna be 44 this year, and I have a lot of friends, athletes, that ask me what you are doing. It's not about the age, it's about the years that I have been practicing sport in high intensity. And when you reach this age, most of the athletes, they have some injuries and pains. And that was my concept. And I'm telling them, I'm treating myself with the X-scope, I'm treating myself with frequency. I have no pain. I'm performing. I have a better life because I can treat myself and get a better day by day. Everyone, knows when you are an athlete and you're being under a lot of stress physically and mentally. And I never passed in my mind that I'm getting old, but I was getting afraid because some of the injuries that I get along the way, and I was concerned about that. So I understood that the body is electric and I can treat myself electric, change the whole picture. And today I have the man here, the CEO of the company that I met 2 years ago that changed my life. It's a huge honor. On that way, I developed the Reset training program. I decided to record this moment because I want to share the knowledge with everyone. And I'm going to be asking some questions to John, and he is the best person to answer it. After we finish the treatment, we are here with John. There is so much knowledge to be shared, and we can be here hours. I'm going to be very specific with John, and I would like to ask 3 questions: the body electric, the immune system, and the body detoxification. Let's start with the first question, the body electric.
The body electric. What we're doing here, and I must say that I'm honored to be going through the Reset program with you here in Dubai and combining state-of-the-art medicine with your state-of-the-art training and stretching and the bands and everything that we've been doing. But is the body electric? You see, when we think about the body in an electrical point of view, we think about how are you diagnosed? You're diagnosed with, everybody's familiar with an EKG for the heart, an EMG for the muscles, an EEG for the brain. What's the E stand for?
Electrical.
Electro. How do they bring you back to life when you've got a big heart attack? What do? Stick a needle in your heart?
No, electrical.
Electrical, the paddles, it's a defibrillator. So they jump start you back to life. So you're diagnosed electrically, you're brought back to life electrically. Why aren't you being treated electrically? Now you can be treated electrically. The Electro-Acuscope is state-of-the-art medicine. It combines Chinese medicine, which is acupuncture. And what's an acupuncture point? It's a highly conductive point in the body, but we're depending on your chi to move the signal. If I'm to needle large intestine 4 and large intestine 11, I'm looking for a little goose pimples to run up your arm or a reaction to my needles. If I don't see that, you don't have any chi. So I'd send you home with a pile of herbs and come back next week and I'd needle you again. This device is the chi. So I don't depend on your body's ability to move the signal. I can move the signal every time with this device. Because as soon as I excite your tissue, this device is capturing the response of the autonomic nervous system. Every other device in the marketplace that any physical therapist is aware of are all one directional, which means they infuse charge, but they don't capture what's coming back. An ultrasound device is merely a heating device for the muscles, one directional. This device is two directional. It's what's known as mutual excitation. So as soon as I excite the tissue, I'm capturing the behavior of the autonomic nervous system's response, and that's measurable. That's a mathematical signature. We never looked at the body as the equation, although it is the equation. As soon as I find out what the biofeedback is and how quickly the brain responded to my excitation, then I also have found out if there's any impedance or blockage and resistance along that pathway. And then instantaneously, I've changed the value of the tissue, so I change the way your brain is responding to it. I instantaneously remove the inflammation. So the brain says, wow, everything's gonna be all right. Because you've removed the inflammation, the brain no longer has to send out the cytokines and send out that inflammatory response because the war is already won.
And John, what about the immune system?
Well, with all this virus going around, what's been missed is your immune system is based on your body's ability to hold a charge. You're one big capacitor with 50 trillion little capacitors inside. Every cell in your body is like a little tiny battery. And a damaged cell doesn't have the same resonating frequency as a normal healthy cell. So what this device is able to do is able to look into the body and look at any cell that's not holding perfect charge. That means you have positive ions on one side, negative ions on the other side, and then you have the non-conducting medium, which is known as the dielectric, which in the body is the lipid. So if that lipid starts to degrade, you start to get leakage from the positive into the negative, and that creates premature apoptosis, premature death of the cell. What our device says is, oh, not enough negative ions. We'll infuse more negative ions, and we'll infuse more positive ions to straighten that non-conducting medium, the dielectric, which is the lipid, and that can only be done electrically. And how does it done? It's done by opening the gates that allow waste product departure and nutrient intake, which are known as voltage-sensitive ion channels. Only discovered in 1991 by two German scientists that proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're electrical before you're biochemical. And it was a trillionth of an amp that opened these gates. We used to think it was the sodium chloride potassium pump, but there is no pump. So that's why they're going to have to rewrite, and now they have rewritten the physiology textbooks and brought in voltage-sensitive ion channels made famous by Dr. Nair and Dr. Sackman, two German scientists that got the Nobel Prize for this. So if you're wondering why you haven't heard about things like this, it was only discovered in 1991. But we've been familiar with the electrical capacitance of the body since 1st century AD, where they used to raise a pond-raised fish called a torpedo fish, and they would wade into these shallow ponds and stand on these electrically charged fish. This is well documented. And you'll find that along the Nile region, that's what they used to control pain. Also, in 1935, in a dig in Baghdad, they found a porcelain cylinder with a copper wire down the center. And that copper wire in the center and that porcelain cylinder with grape juice was found in the magician's quarters. And the magician in 1st century AD was the physician. And so this is how medicine has been used since 1st century AD, using electrical therapy. And then we get to the turn of the century where Tesla, you all heard about the Tesla cars now. Well, Tesla created a healing device. Then Dr. Royal Raymond Rife created a healing device where his success in treating cancer, tuberculosis, and all types of viruses and bacteria electrically. He built a microscope that stood almost 5 feet tall. But he could see things that no one else was conceived. But he knew by adding electricity, he could kill bacteria and viruses. 1922 to 1935, because he built the first X-ray machine. So he was using low-level gamma rays. And that's how the body's electric. And that's how we've been working with electricity since 1st century AD. and how the body is capable of healing itself all by itself.
The third and last, the body detoxification.
Detoxification, how we remove toxicity at the cellular level. All disease is toxic response. If you remove the toxicity, you remove the response, which is dis-ease. And as I was explaining, every cell in your body has got little voltage sensitive ion channels, little gated channels that open and close, but they only open and close when you have the right membrane potential, which means you have energy running across the cells. So what this device does is it finds that impedance, blockage, and resistance and runs current through, of which is now opening all the gates that allow waste product departure and nutrient intake. And so we're enhancing ATP production, which is adenosine triphosphate, the energy of life. So when you enhance that, you enhance the body's ability to heal itself 2 to 3 times faster than normal. This is what separates this device from anything out on the marketplace today, is a device that reads and treats what's known as mutual excitation. It's an instantaneous rate of exchange, and then the device monitors and corrects the value of the changing quantities. This is the magnificence of the body electric.
And one more question. Can you please explain about the autonomic nerve system, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic?
The autonomic nervous system is what the yogi monks lay in meditation and they chant to get their brain into specific frequencies of delta, theta, and alpha. And they're able to control the autonomic nervous system, which is both sympathetic and parasympathetic. That's why a yogi monk up in the Himalayas can stick a 20-gauge needle through his arm and not bleed. How can he do that? How can he lay on a bed of nails? They're not sure how long these yogi monks are living up there in the Himalayas. And so that's all about harmonizing the central nervous system. It's what's known as sympathetic resonance. Without sympathetic resonance, healing cannot occur. And the yogi monks have learned how to control the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. You're not aware that your sympathetic is with your heart beating, with your lungs breathing, with your cells, all the action going on, the action potential of the cells. You're not aware of that. All these autoimmune diseases means the sympathetic has got a hold of you and there's no parasympathetic cutting in. And if that happens, you're coming to a turn, that's the gas pedal, and the gas pedal is down. And you don't have a brake coming in, which is the parasympathetic. You're gonna go off the cliff. And that's what these autoimmune diseases are all about, and they're trying to fight them with more drugs. Drugs and surgery are the last thing you want to do to your body. We want to be non-drug and non-invasive and deal with the body in an electrical point of view where you don't have to invade the body and invade the space. Because didn't all the doctors take an oath that said, first, do no harm? Now we have a device that allows the doctors to first do no harm. And we're able to work with, I don't care what dis-ease you have, you're able to find the inflammation because the cell has been degraded. So we're taking that cell from a degenerative state to a regenerative state in a matter of milliseconds. And we're adjusting the impedance throughout the body so that we have energy flow to all the cells. So now we're activating that potential of waste product departure and nutrient intake and a cell going to perfect apoptosis and reproducing a healthier and healthier cell. That's thus the expedition of the body's process of healing 2 to 3 times faster than normal.
Thank you very much, John.
Wanna move my feet, wanna drink my wine. 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 Wanna move my feet, wanna drink my wine.
it on the App Store.